Hello and welcome to the Quipper channel. I'm Jason, your host. So let's talk about the challenges that I'm going to face. Not the mental challenges, but other challenges I'm going to face. Just to actually get to the point where I can do all this electronic vehicle. Well, we know we've got to wait for the disability and that to come through and all that kind of thing. But let's take that aside. Let's say I've gotten the higher mobility and I can apply for the Motability and everything's set up, and let's take it past that point, that's all done and I've got myself a provisional license and all of that is done. Those basic ones that are still hectic and having to deal with stuff, but let's take it past that. Then I've got to find two people at least who can be people who are I can call upon to take me out. Now I have ideas for one of them. The second one I have a couple of other ideas, but I won't be able to drive, so for me to move this vehicle once it's here at the front of my house, I will need people I can rely on. Now let's put this in perspective. To start with, I only plan to probably I may even only leave the house in the vehicle once a month. And in that way I can plan it around. I've got an idea of the couple of people I can pick, because I don't have that many real life friends or close. In fact, I have very few. And so this idea is so if I can get someone who would be willing to do that, then they can help me in that way when they come to visit. Unfortunately, Monkey can't, because he hasn't passed his test, and you have to go a certain amount of time after your pass test before you can be a driver for someone on Motability. So that's the first challenge. The second challenge is electronic vehicle, diesel or petrol or hybrid. Too many choices. The problem is here that each one has a benefit and a negative. The benefits let's do EV first. Electronic vehicles, the benefits for me personally is my technology affinity will latch onto an electronic vehicle very easily. It will be like cookies and candy and shiny. And that kind of dopamine motivation will be very good for turning it into a safe space. The problem is I don't have a garage, I don't have a driveway. It will be sitting at the front of my house, and at that point I don't have I may not even be able to have a charge point. I can have a charge point in my garden at the front, but the cable has got to go from the charge point across a public footpath to my car, which is not going to be easy to do. I can get one of these anti-trip things that you put on the floor. The government says they're going to cut lanes in the thingy if you can apply for. They'll give £350 for you to cut a lane between your thingy house and the thingy, so that you can have put a cable in. All well and good, but the electrical experts in the UK have been a bit I bet this thing, it's a political thing that they want to do, and whether or not it's a good thing or a bad thing, because people could get electrocuted and all that, because something to do with if you have two items within certain distance of each other on a street and they're not on the same earth setup, then if you touched one and you touched another, you could electrocute yourself. I don't understand the actual more than the basics, but yeah, that's a thing. Of course, that would mean you have to touch an electric car and then touch something like a lamppost. That was almost impossible to do. But the concern is there. Of course, I can get around this by just basically, it's not going to be that big a problem, because it will take, if I want to charge an electric vehicle, and I can only charge it by a 3-pin plug in my house. As in, just plug in a 3-pin plug, take it through the letterbox, take it out to the car, plug in the car, and sit in the car and do a little bit of streaming in there while it's charging up and that, and be in my safe space and things like that. It's okay, because for me, I don't mind it taking time. I don't mind topping it up. You only need to top them up to like 80% to keep the battery healthy anyway, so therefore, as long as I get it to 80, I can every couple of days just trickle charge it and keep it up to its 80%. That I can do that. I can take my big battery bank, my Anchor, I can take it and I can wheel it out there and I can charge with that. And then I can charge that with the solar panels, and then back and forth like a relay. I can do that. But so those are, the charging is the main issue with it. But because I will only be going out in it, like, at least to start with, maybe once, twice a month, I will just be going off on my travels in some way or so forth. I had a joke with a friend that my first journey out with the car is probably going to be to visit a public charger. Just to go to a local public charger and park up and charge for a little bit, just to see. That will be my first adventure in the car. Actually, and the first time I know if someone's driving, I want to take up the offer of driving lessons once I'm comfortable in the car, because once I'm comfortable, remember, when I'm comfortable in something, I should be able to do that kind of thing. But I've got to be completely comfortable. It's got to be a vehicle. So now we've got to find a vehicle that I'm comfortable in. So that's electronic vehicles. Electronic vehicles appeal to my technology affinity, just like computers do and everything else. Think of it this way, I can't wear normal watches, but I've got basically two things on my hand that are electronics. My technology affinity means I don't see these as a bad thing. I don't see these as something that's bothering me that I have to rip off my arm when I notice them at 3 a.m. Because the technology, it feels good. If I get an EV will have that bonus point of it's electricity, it's solar, it's all energy, it's all this kind of thing that make me happy and connect to that side of my brain, and that will make it very easy for me to focus enough to be able to learn to drive the vehicle, because my brain will be in that headspace of shiny. And it will be every time if I get behind the wheel, will be a massive dopamine hit. And every time so I will take up the offer of driving lessons. And so that is a very good thing. Now, the downside is like the charging and the different issues that you have to learn about. But gas, let's go petrol. Petrol's good. Petrol good. I believe it has a bit more oomph, and it's easy, simple. I have a local petrol station just one street away, basically. One street away is a petrol station. The downside is I would have to go to a petrol station. So the positive, to fuel the car up, I wouldn't have to wait for the sun, I wouldn't have to wait for electricity, instant, put stuff in, and your 300, 400 miles range, because full tank, yeah, all good. But I would have to go to a petrol station. I would have to interact with the person behind the counter. I would have to fill up my car in a public place where people are, and there would be people around me, and they might talk to me. That could be a bad thing. Could be a bad thing. So yes, that could be an issue. And my brain's just... So that's one of the... And petrol cars and diesel cars are more complicated to maintain and more complicated to drive. An EV is a pure automatic, and it's a translation of energy into force, into kinetic, and it just works. It might have lots of complicated electronic stuff, but hands on wheel, an accelerator. It's a go-kart, basically. It's a go-kart. Brum brum, brake, brum brum, brake. No third thingy, no clutch, no weird system, just brum brum. So petrol, and the good side to petrol and diesel is the instant ability to fill up and be on your way, and no range anxiety. Now, range anxiety probably, I don't think is going to be a problem for me in an electronic vehicle. The idea of me going so far away from my house that range anxiety would be a problem. I mean, seriously, in the first 3 years, there's a very good chance that the most I will go is like 5 miles away from my house. I mean, even if I learn to drive, it'll probably be just little tiny thingy, and there for some. And so let's have a look at some stuff. Let's just pause this. Okay, so what we're looking at here is what's called MPVs, multi-person people vehicle. I don't know MPV, but basically they're vehicles, because I'll be spending a lot of my time in the back seat, and therefore I want a spacious back end where I can turn it into a safe space, and that might mean lots of electronics putting in there and so on. There's the Vauxhall Combo Life. There's the Citroen Berlingo and the Peugeot Rifter, and so on. There's lots of these ones that you could look at. The Peugeot Traveller, and so on. These are all cars, well, more like vans, that the only downside to them is they have a reduced range. But that won't matter to me. If we have a look at the range of them, if we go into the Citroen Berlingo, it's up to 213 miles, which isn't bad at all. It's not bad at all. It's got massive amounts of space in it. It's I would be able to basically sleep in the back of it. It's a van. It's a van, but it's a lovely little van. It would be it's really quite nice looking one. That kind of one would be perfect for me. I don't need something fast. I don't need something that looks sporty. I don't need something that's gonna be a road racer or anything like that. I need something that basically is fun and feels like a house on wheels. And that's why I'm edging towards this kind of. I mean, the other ones, if we look at them, like the Combo Life, the Combo Life's not interesting. The Peugeot Rift, if I take them off over to there, and the Vivaro and the Traveller. If we look at these other ones, that's the same one. Combo Life, the problem with this, it's got really reduced range, I believe. Let me go to the let's go to not the XL. Let's go all the way down to the Ultimate. The Ultimate. We'll go to the Ultimate one down here. A little bit less on the range. But still not a bad little thingy. The Vauxhall Combo Live. It's this kind of comfortability and just beep beep would be perfect for me, because it's more like it's the kind of thing that I could sit in the back and have lots of room and set it up for make it feel better, feel more like yay. It's hard for me to think about it, but yeah, I am just looking at all of this kind of ideas. So this is Jason, who's rambling at the moment, so bye bye for now.